I think we are live. I think.
Yep, I see the yellow light.
Yeah, for me too. I'm on YouTube. I don't see anything yet. I don't know. Do you see us? Can you?
Okay.
You have some feedback? Yeah. Okay, we are live. Good. Great. We are live on the SMB Tech
Tech Hangout.
Hangout. First one. Good. Do you have people in the room, Jacob?
Yeah, we have about 12 of them waiting.
Nice. So we have 14 people already. Good. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the SMB Tech Hangout. We're going to discuss everything related to the SMB world. Of course, if you are a B1 partner, if you're a BYD partner, if you code, you would just want to learn what SAP is doing for the SMB market. I think this is one good place to have like a first approach. We're going to talk about emerging technologies, software architecture for SMB solutions. Also, one thing very interesting, which is the SAP Seed Challenge, which is a development challenge that we kind of help you how to develop your solution. So Jacob will give us some more hints on that. My name is Ralph. I'm speaking from the bright and sunny London today. I'm a solution architect for Business One, and I pass the word to my co-host, Jacob. Hi, Jacob.
Hi everybody, this is Jacob here. So I'm based in Singapore right now, sunny island throughout the year. So it's our first time here, SMB Tech Hangout. So very happy to be part of this initiative. So I think other than what Ralph has mentioned, it's also good that we could hear some feedbacks from you, like even as and when, during this whole session of an hour call, keep it informal. Have any questions or have any ideas that you have, feel free to just drop it in the YouTube chat, and then we will actually address them as well. Yep. So actually here in the call, we also have Trinidad, which is a solution architect that's based in France, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yep, I'm in France.
Yep. So I think later in the middle part of the call, also there'll be someone else will be joining in. He's Drew. So he's the product director of the SMB Innovation Labs. So what would be cool is that if you have been to the Innovation Summit, you should see the cool stuff that like the intelligent chicken farm, the facial recognition demo and all. So those are the people that's behind it. So later we can have some conversation with him as well. Then in the subsequent session, we also plan some showcasing of their solutions. So yeah, back to you, Ralph.
Very nice. So yeah, he already started to introduce the mighty B1 Queen Trinidad Martinez, but I would like to speak a little bit more of yourself, who you are. Of course, most people here I think already know you, but who you are, what do you do, what brings you here? Please, the stage is yours.
So I'm Trinidad. I'm working on the solution architects together with Ralph and many others. I'm located in France, and I'm very curious to see what happens in this session.
Aren't we all? Okay, so yes, as Jacob mentioned, we will focus a lot on what you guys posted on the chat window. So if you have any subject, have any questions, feel free to ask us anytime. We're gonna try to answer them as soon as possible. But we have some topics that we can start the discussion. And the first one, I think we're already late right now, but I think it's important to mention what happened last month in the SAP Innovation Summit. So we got 3 editions of the SAP SMB Innovation Summits in Ho Chi Minh, Barcelona, and Orlando. We got plenty of people in there. In Barcelona, I think were more than 1,200 people, if I'm not mistaken, one of the biggest ones. It's totally amazing. And yeah, with great feedback from partners, we did hands-on sessions. We did several sessions mainly regarding loosely coupled solutions and how can you develop develop your SMB solution in this new approach, like focusing on cloud development. So I would like to ask my my guests in here. So what is your perception of the summit? How was it compared with other editions? What did you like at this time? What you didn't? So let's start with ladies first. So Trini, please. How was the summit for you this year? And you are on mute. You are on mute. Unmute yourself.
Will be better. So different this time. So many new partners, and also the developers are starting getting the message of loosely coupled. So we have been praying for that some time, and now I think many of you are starting to ask, how do I get an account on the SAP Cloud platform? How can I get introduced on learning more things? What are the next steps? So, and the bigger point for the summit, I would say, was the hands-on, where we got a very, very good feedback. People trying really how to develop things and during the sessions and getting the possibility to ask directly.
And did you get many questions afterwards, like partners asking, Trinidad, how can I implement this exercise? How can I decouple my solution? How's the workload after the summit this year?
So I can say I have some partners where I discuss more with the commercials and did get the message, and now the developers are asking, how do I do it? So yes, it was a good starting point.
That's good. Just one quick remark from my side. I think this year they absorbed the message much quicker than the years before. I mean, we've been talking a lot about how to port your business logic from the client side, the fat clients, to the server with HANA in the first place, now with the SAP Cloud Platform. But I think this, I never saw a movement so quick as I saw this year. Like I already have partners asking me things that I cannot even answer because they're so deep into the SAP Cloud Platform. I say, oh, wait, I need to investigate this a little bit, check with some context and see what I can do, because they're really going into that. Jacob, in APJ, how things are going? How is the perception in there?
Well, I think for APJ, it's also like your first for the solution architect team, as you all talk about the loosely coupled. I believe it's your first time also to have this hands-on session in the room, whereby all the developers, the tech guys came into the session, and then they had some hands-on exercises on SCP building loosely coupled solution, I believe. So that's something which I feel it is good, because at least the audience, when they participate in the summit, they have some hands-on session, and then they can bring some of the work back home, and then they can further develop on top of it, or to take reference and then to build new solutions on top of that. So other than that, I personally feel that this year Innovation Summit is it really brings the true blue meaning of innovation, because firstly, the SMB Innovation Labs also came in, and then they joined our Innovation Summit, and then they brought in really cool demos. I think it was presented in the keynote session as well, like the facial recognition, the intelligent chicken farm, whereby they really put it into a use case. And then it's really start to see, when we talk so much about the buzzwords like digital transformation, digital solutions, like business model transformation and all. So we start to see how such use cases are being built, and then using the different technologies, the emerging techs like IoT, machine learning, AI, chatbot, So this is something which I feel it is a success. I would say it's really good that it's really not only talking about the buzzwords, but really seeing innovations in the summit itself. So I feel this year is really good. And that aside, later that's very related to SID as well. What we have done for the summit this year is that we also include some of the startups in that sense. So I think it's the first time that we onboard the startups as an OE, Open Ecosystem Build Partner. So it's really cool that, like, prior to the summit, we have one of the startup that actually quickly developed a prototype, so that he can actually, with a agile mindset, that he can quickly use that prototype to gain some validate and to get some feedback from the partners as well. So this is something which is good. And then the next step is actually to work with partners to sell them and to support the go-to-market strategy to better sell B1 as well. So yeah, I think it's really cool that this year's summit is really good for APJ side. Yeah.
It's always good when we start to replacing the PowerPoints with real stuff, right? Real code, showing the applications running live and actually working. Is quite cool. And yes, this one thing you mentioned about the face recognition, I don't know if Drew is going to join us, but we'll talk more about it. But apart from this, any other prototypes that we did before, we are always sharing the source code on the SAP community, so you can also for the audience now, if you can always fork the code, make your own customizations on top, make your own deployments. We are always pushing them to the partners so they can leverage and experiment themselves. All right, so of course, talking about summits, right? We need to thank all the organization, so all the guys from the Paulo team, just for creating the agenda, although he always places me in the last day, in the first hour, to make a session like 9 a.m. when in the day that everybody is already in hangover. But thank you, Just. And also the guys from what's the name of the company? Tasman. Yeah, Tasman is the organization company. Yeah, they are very good, and they gave me this awesome T-shirt. Yeah, you can see there. Yeah, so I need to thank the sponsorship. Anyway, all right. So the content of the Innovation Summit, all the presentations, details, and such, they're already published online. I will share the link on the chat. I don't know if the participants can check it. Can we see the chat on YouTube?
I think no, they won't be able to see that. So I think you could paste it. Let me help you to paste it to the chat in the YouTube.
I'm not sure. Are any one of you on YouTube? Can any of the participants say, yeah, I can get the link, or I cannot get the link?
Paste any links in the chat.
I'm not sure. Let me just see. Yeah. It's loading. I know. Yeah. No, there's a lot of messages in here. I'm not seeing the internal chat.
Yeah.
I really apologize for that.
Questions.
Okay, we got some questions about that. So let's start with David whatever. Jacob, question on loosely coupled from the business aspect, pre-sales. How do we position and messaging that? Oh, that's a really. Do you want to take this one, Jacob, since it's for you, or I can jump in if you want to?
From the business aspects and pre-sales, how do we position the messaging? Okay, actually, I personally feel, in my own opinion, as of now, or rather traditionally, when we sell an ERP solution or maybe a standard solution, it is actually a Mood One solution. So talking about by model, is kind of like touching a little bit on loosely coupled as well. So Mood One is very optimized and something that's built on top of a standard. So it's like if with this solution, it can run to help the business process as a standard. But I think now we are slowly moving towards the Mood 2. So to achieve this bi-model IT model, in that sense, so Mood 2 is more like exploratory experiment into newer problems, and then how you can address certain innovations as well and build on top of new solutions. So I feel in the aspects of pre-sales and in the aspects of how you can convince the customers to adopt loosely coupled solution is more on also looking into driving towards the Mood 2, to how they can not build anything, as in not build everything into the Mood 1 system that you will actually overhaul, and not say overhaul, you will actually overload the whole system, but you have a dedicated system, or rather a segregated so-called engine to actually support this. So this in these terms, loosely coupled, in a sense, you have this solution that's running, but that is also still related to your ERP system. So with that, you can actually go and help the business to drive in a direction that you could achieve innovation and to help the business process better. So I mean, this is my opinion. So maybe Ralph and Trinidad, you guys have a better explanation for loosely coupled.
I think Trinidad going to talk a lot about the architecture itself and the technical side. I think he's asking more about in the pre-sale side. I think we're moving towards the subscription model, right? We're not selling more projects or product itself, but a service. So partners would need to catch up that some in a short or in the long run. Business One is doing that itself. Is already available in the cloud. Some partners sell as a perpetual license. Some partners sell as a subscription model, and that is a totally strategical decision for each partners. We are just bringing more options to the table. We're not cutting the options down. We're just adding more possibilities in that sense. Trinidad, any comment on that?
No comments for the moment. Maybe we can go over more detail if you have time.
Yeah, we do. We're going to talk a lot about the architecture. We got more questions. People are asking, are the source codes for those apps available? Yeah, they are available on our GitHub, the GitHub for the solution architects. So I will just post on the chat. Give me a moment. But github.com/b1sa. B1SA, B1 Solution Architects. You're gonna find the several apps we did before, Alexa integration, Twitter sentiment analysis, the apps we did in the Innovation Summit. They're all there. Open source, fork it, make your contributions. We always appreciate that. Any other question I'm missing here?
I think the Street is asking also about like the blog posts on the intelligent chicken farm and facial recognition. So I believe those solutions that's built by the SMB Innovation Summit, they are actually preparing the resources to be shared publicly as well. So I think stay tuned for that.
Just a small correction: the face recognition is done by the innovation labs. So we already spoke with Drew before. They are willing to publish their source code. It's just a matter of time. They're preparing it a little bit. The other one, the chicken farm, was done internally by our development in combination with one partner. So this one I think is gonna be a real product. So I'm pretty sure they're not sharing that one. But yeah, they can show the video and the concept, of course. But the one that you guys can put the hands on gonna be probably the face recognition with this proof of concept, not a big product. Yeah, and yeah, so I think we're done with the questions, right? Can we jump to the next topic, which is cloud architecture? Do you guys agree?
Yep, definitely. So maybe before we go into that, meantime, maybe something that we could ask the audience is also like, so far you all have heard so much about from us, like, so as and when you all have any questions or topics, please feel free to just send it to us through the chat, or like if you have any ideas on like some of the, like we talked so much about those innovations from the SMB labs and from the summit itself. Do you all have any like interesting use case or interesting projects that you are working on? You also can also drop it to the chat, then you can see how we can discuss further. Yeah.
Of course. And Steve, thank you, Steve, for watching us. Just reminded everybody, it's important for you guys that really want you to jump into those the loosely coupled approach and try and also count with our help to do that. To get your innovation package from the SAP Cloud Platform. Steve shared some information in the chat, and you can also talk with your local product expert, your solution architect. Any contacts you get from SAP can help you on that. All right, jumping to the next one. So let's continue talking about it. Actually, we're going to talk about now this new wave of architecture, the new way of developing solutions for SMBs. So with that, I will invite Trinda to talk a little bit more about this architecture. What is loosely coupled that everybody's talking about? How are the benefits of moving my solution to the cloud? How complicated it is, and so on. So Trinda, stage is yours once again.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you see it.
I can see it, yeah.
Okay, so I would like to introduce just very shortly the digital transformation topic before we go to loosely coupled, because I think they are loosely coupled. They are tightly coupled this time. So so some slides are the same ones we used for the summit. So we are reusing here. I hope it's not repeating something that you already know that you don't want to hear again. So let's go for it. So digital transformation is really applying the digital technologies that are really a big number of them available everywhere, not only SAP, but everybody. And of course, SAP is catching up and is being in advance on that and proposing many kinds of these new digital technologies. So when we talk about digital technologies, very basic things we used to work every day, mobile, IoT, more and more coming in, even if we don't even notice some of them, but many applications and many use cases for mobile. Cloud applications, so we don't want to install many things in our computers or mobiles. We want to just access them. And analytics, many decisions are taken based on analytics. So all this together and much more is what we can now use not only for fun and for having conversation with friends or having fun with some tools or games, is also for the work, and more customers are asking for those things to be used and take advantage of all those technologies in their day life and in their day work. to help them work. So for that, the first step we propose is to move to loosely coupled solutions. One slide you have seen many times, I think not only this year in the summits, but many times before, is the loosely coupled, how to build a loosely coupled solution. So here we have a tightly coupled solution. We have our old friend UI API, DI API. We are used to work for years now, almost 20 years. We need to move to something different. We are too tightly coupled to Business One. We modify something, we then can put Business One in danger. We need to release something, we need to go to this machine. We are really too tightly coupled to Business One. And we need to separate as much as possible and to be on a different zone, mainly if we want to also to take advantage of all these IoT, machine learning, etc. technologies that are given and that shouldn't be so tightly coupled to Business One. So we move from this schema to the high part of this schema where we are showing a loosely coupled solution. So where we want to move, so we want to move to the cloud. SAP HANA Cloud Platform is the reference we give because we are SAP. Of course, we will give SAP HANA Platform, but you have other cloud platforms that can be used. So we know SAP HANA Cloud Platform, we know it has machine learning, it has many database ways of managing big data, it has IoT, machine learning, and many other kind of technologies that can be then used there. The advantage, you are really located outside of Business One. You just communicate with Business One via service layer. I don't need to explain what is service layer, I hope. But I will say just in case, so service layer is the API to access in Business One for read and write operations with all the business logic inside. So you are really outside SAP Business One. You can release as many times as you want. You can go for the technology you want, and you don't put in danger Business One. Your releases are separated to Business One. So this is the architecture we propose. And for that, so we have many samples. I will move directly to the samples that are available on SCN as blogs. And as Ralph said, those blogs will link to GitHub, where we have shared the source code. So you can reproduce those demos in your environments and show them to your partners. So what we told here, so this is a Beacons One demo, the one we did last year, where we have a mobile application of a user that is coming into a shop. And then the mobile application, that is the mobile application of the shop, will automatically detect the customer going in via IoT services in the cloud platform. We'll then be able to find out who is this customer and get some information about this customer with the service layer in Business One and also with the predictive analysis. We can then do some calculations based on his history. So we can predict what he will be interested in buying, and then we can propose some discounts in his mobile application based on what we know about him. And then we can then have some kind of fidelization with this customer and some kind of guidance to help this partner buy, this customer buy not only what he needed, but maybe also something that we propose and he didn't even think about. In this application, so you see, we are using the services in HANA, in SAP Cloud Platform, sorry. We are using IoT. We are using Node.js because we have Cloud Foundry in the cloud platform. We are using a push notification mechanism also available in the SAP Cloud Platform. We are using SAP HANA to store our IoT information. So we are really running our application. It's all running on this cloud. Business One remains vanilla without touching in his own cloud. In that case, our demo was based using SAP Business One hosted by SAP. So we didn't touch anything here, not to put in danger Business One, not to go over all the certification process that limits what we can access on the server side, but we are completely independent in our SAP Cloud Platform. So I showed the business case of the user coming into the shop. You can also have the business case of the manager of the shop that wants to see how people is moving around the shop, how they are staying a long time in front of one stand or not. So they can really put their products based on the visits that they have in the shop. So this is a first application. I invite you to go to the blogs. You just search for Beacons One in Google, Business One, SAP Business One, Beacons One, and you will get into this blog. And from this blog, you will be able to navigate to the source code and also a commercial video we did showing the solution, how it works. And you are able to put it in your environment. A second application developed also on the same principle is to have the B1 assistant. I suppose you have already seen it. We have demoed it many times. The source code is also available. We have a blog. And in this case, what we are using is Amazon Alexa. No, sorry, it's not this one. This one is the Twitter application, sorry. So the Twitter application here, we are listening to the post on Twitter, and then our application running on the SAP Cloud Platform is able to read those tweeters, analyze if they are talking about a specific product, a specific person, whatever, based on this Twitter API. And then we are able to find out whether people is happy or not with SAP HANA text analysis. So we are combining everything together, again, running on the SAP Cloud Platform, accessing Business One for details, just with SAP, with the service layer. So here we have another way of accessing Business One. So if I go to the blog very shortly, just before I finish my presentation, so you can see that we have every time, doesn't want to go. Okay, now it's going. So you have a blog that is going over different topics, proposing explanation of what is the SMB digital transformation. So where we are going with Business One, what we presented in the summits, and then is showing the architecture, very nice screen showing that Business One is the digital core, and around it, we can put as many services as we want. So this is the main principle of the loosely coupled. And then at the end, you can see that we connect Alexa with Business One by design, or we can connect it to Business One. And then we can retrieve information from our Business One or by design directly on the Alexa platform and get details about what is happening. Okay, so you have a video showing, you have links to GitHub somewhere, here it is. So you can download the source code, put it in place in your own environment. And yeah, the next step is to continue following us on the blogs and on these sessions, so you can really get more details about this digital transformation we are trying to put in place. Was it clear?
Yeah, I think it's clear as the day. Thank you very much. And yeah, as Trinda was mentioning, this is a series of blogs, so keep tuning in there, because there will be several other blogs that we're gonna explain all this SMB transformation to the cloud that we are all talking about. But in the meanwhile, while you are presenting your proposed architecture, we got an intruder here directly from Shanghai. So I welcome Drew Bates. Please have yourself let me know who you are, what do you do, what you are doing here, and who are you in the night? Who are you in the club?
He's dressed up.
Hello, guys. It took me a while to get my VPN running, so I hope that everyone can hear what I'm speaking. Let me know if you cannot hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're breaking a little bit, but I forgot about the firewall of China.
Yeah, this is it. It takes a little bit of time to get out, so I speak real slowly. Hope it works. Yeah, thank you, and sorry that I joined a bit later. It's great to be here in China, speaking to you live. And maybe I introduce a little bit about myself and what we do here. We're a fairly new group within SMB of only 8 months now. We've been running officially, but around a year we've been putting ourselves together. And our job is promote innovation within the SMB group. And thank you very much, and get it done. Which means we get to work on some modern or coming technologies. We have to think a lot about how we apply internal SAP upcoming horizon techs like Leonardo and Copilot into the SMB group. And we also have to think about how we can get everything wrong. So we spend a lot of time working on ideas really, really quickly understanding how we can fail with them and how they might not apply. Most of the stuff that we work on never makes it to light of day because we spend 2 weeks per project. So we do things very, very fast as a small group of guys to, I don't know, to figure out where innovation fits within what we're doing together in SMB Group.
Good, great. And the nice mesh that we have here is that we got you guys, you have a very cloud background, I suppose, right? You work a lot with these high-end technologies. We have worked in the cloud for quite some time. And we also, on the other side, we got the Business One guys, which they are going through this direction right now, like migrating from one to the other. Regarding everything that Trinidad mentioned about this loosely coupled architecture, what are the benefits that you see that an on-premise solution can leverage adopting this kind of approach?
Well, I guess one important thing is we couldn't do it without the cloud, because in this new way of doing things, let's say this modern architecture, we have no choice but to integrate with people who are doing it better. Look, if you think about all of the potential for innovation out there, it's using so many different sources from so many other partnering companies or collaboration opportunities or IoT this or blockchain that we won't cover them all on our own. So we essentially have to reach out further. And being in the cloud means we can do that, right? So it also means we can use one foundation, essentially our core, and we can apply this to every possible thing that we're working on. And at least we have an anchor point or a consistency from which to build. Look, all my projects are like a gift because I'm given all of the objects, all the master data, all of the transactions I have that most of our, let's say, competitors or companies who are making new tech on their own don't have. So we have a great proposition there that we've already got the foundation, the building block, and from that, then we build into the cloud.
Amazing, yeah. That's exactly you mentioned, right, the good things, like we cannot do without it, and this is exactly the point we're bringing partners to. Besides that, all the part of the innovation cycle that is much quicker now, we can change the solutioning, add new features. In a blink of an eye, you don't need to, normally what a Business One partner usually do is that it developed a new version of their app, and need to package, ship that, install in many installations of their customers. Now, if everybody is in the cloud, if your solution is loosely coupled from Business One, you can just implement a new feature. You can plug that feature in your customers in almost real time. It's just a matter of deploying that version of the app on your own end, and your customers can consume that because they are now as a service, right? All right, Jacob, any comments on that?
Yep. I'm actually thinking more on like the adoption rate. Like, as of now, we are at this age of where we talk so much about digital transformation. Where you start to see so much new technologies just coming forth. Just thinking about, do you see there's also an increased adoption of such technology by SMBs? Like, does the small business, do they really would be keen to adopt such technology, which I personally feel is something which I wonder quite a lot as well.
Yeah, and I was thinking, Trinda mentioned that in the beginning with the Alexa prototype we did, that we plug it into Business One, but since it was loosely coupled, we could also plug that into ByDesign easily. Of course, just a matter of changing the connection and just a small adaptation. But if you have a very tightly coupled solution, that solution only will work with one system only, and will depend on that system to run. That's what our legacy add-ons are doing. But once you have decoupled that, the attach to that from Business One or from ByDesign, you can start leveraging other backends, other digital cores, as Drew was mentioning. So you just need the data to be provided by one of those backends, and all your business logic or your IP, it will be on your own core, on your own application, without depending too heavy on any other runtime. And I think this is a good thing of the cloud platform approach. What do you think if we show how to deploy one app in the SAP Cloud Platform, just to demystify a little bit, because people are saying, okay, so if you go to SAP Cloud Platform page, there's a plenty of services in there. For people that are already cloud oriented, that's quite common. That's okay. But for people that are from the on-premise environment, which are most of our partners, that's not that simple to change, right? To switch to change the switch. So what do you think? Can you ask the audience, Jacob, if they want to see how to deploy that, how to just create a small app for Business One, or we can move.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah, please. I closed my chat. I cannot see the chat. I just need to reopen it.
So while Ralph is preparing, I'm just throwing the questions out to the audience. Like, so here we have on the call the solution architect and also the product director from SMB Innovation Labs. So if you all have any questions or some topics that you all would like to hear more or see more or learn more in the subsequent questions, feel free to write to us or just chat and send your comment or feedback and ideas in the chat box. So, and we might bring it live for you as well. And yeah. So.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, while I'm preparing that, Drew, a lot of people asked about the face recognition app. When this gonna be available? When we are planning to publish a blog about it? How they can get their hands on it? And yeah, you know, you blow their minds in there, and now they need some food. So
yeah, sure thing. You know, we made a mistake because that was hot off the press for the summits. We finished it the week before, just had enough time to put the training data in, and then brought it around the world with us. And we haven't had time since to tidy up the code and add the comments and make it so that it can be followed in a streamlined way, because we didn't, but with our team. Just today, I think we're pretty close to having it. Everything's in draft at the moment. I reckon by the beginning of next week, it's going to be live to download the code and the instructions on how to get it running and how to deploy it. So yeah, it's been a crazy 3 or 4 weeks since we came back because the response has been so overwhelming that we have a number of projects that will probably go live. We'll go into production as well over the next couple of months. But yes, available next week. We heard it here.
It's a promise, right? You're committing to that. I mean, you're doing that to yourself.
That's
I'm not
right.
asking for a date. You're doing it, so. All right, so folks, next week, face recognition, publish it on the SAP community with the source code, so you guys can leverage and take a look into that as well. Okay, so let's. All right, a lot of loosely coupled, a lot of cloud architectures. How do I start? How can I get started with that? What can I do just to get my hands dirty regarding cloud development and this loosely coupled approach? So what we did for the summit this year, we did several apps that we already shared the source code. I'm missing to write some blogs explaining them. That's on my list for sure. But I can start to show you one tutorial that we did in the last month, explaining how you can go from scratch to develop one application that connects with Business One and is also deployed in the SAP Cloud Platform. So I will just share my screen. Let me see if I can make it. Yes, let me know if you're seeing it. Yeah. So good. So I'm gonna go to our GitHub, which is the github.com/b1sa. And one of the repositories in there actually is a highlighted repository. Is the CF Demo Summit 18. I think I need to work on the name, but anyway, the idea of this app is very simple. It's for you to go through a step-by-step in how you can deploy and create your solution. One is my app that communicates with Business One and is deployed on the SAP Cloud Platform. So what I try to do is like explain step-by-step what you need to do that, and of course the code is here for you guys to use it. So I'll just get my ID coming in here, and you can see that I'm using the Visual Studio Code. And when you're talking about cloud development, it's all about choices. So you can choose whatever IDE you want. You can choose whatever platform you want to deploy it. The only thing you need to stick is communicating with Business One using the service layer. And what you need to do first, of course, I downloaded the code. So the code I have here on my Visual Code is exactly the one that was on GitHub. So I got here the modules, and each branch of my code of this repository is one step of the development. So the first step is just the deployment of the app, which is quite simple and straightforward to do, which I already did, by the way. That's why we were seeing here the one simple page with Business One items. But what I'm going to show next is I will do the redeployment of this app just to see how quick it is. But we're going to see also how easy it is to, for example, to scale a solution that is running in the cloud. So, for example, if I go here, I'm here on my ID. The last one is the terminal, and you can. It's probably going to be very small for you guys on screen, but if I do a command like cf login, which is a command to log into the cloud platform from SAP, it should ask for my user and password. So that's my email and my password. Oops. Okay. Oh, I just cannot log in again. Try it again. That's very ugly for me to forget. Okay, I remember my password now. So yeah. All right, I'm using the command cf apps just for us to list what are the apps that are already deployed. And one of the apps is the CF Demo Summit. But how we get to that? How can we deploy that app? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm of course having my code here on my ID. So what I'm gonna do is I will get the other branch of that repository. So we got I show you at first the step number 1 branch, which is just one a very simple solution, but we're gonna get the step number 2, and we're gonna deploy the step number 2 branch. This one is basically focusing on the scalability of solutions running in the cloud. So if I come here and I would say git checkout step 2, I switch for my branch number 2. It already did that, and I will do the only command we need to do to deploy a solution to the cloud is cf push, like this. And what this command is doing is uploading all the files from the solution itself. You're gonna see that it's uploading to the SAP Cloud Platform. It will also download all the dependencies that this application might have. So I have here some. This application is written in Node.js, so server-side JavaScript, and I'm using some packages. For example, making requests for a web server. In this case, it's service layer. So it's downloading also all these dependencies, and you're gonna let my application ready to run. Once that is done, it will show for me the URL of the application. You see here is already in here, so we can test it. Let me see what's going on right now. Yeah. And as I mentioned, the step number 2 is about scalability. So what I did in this step compared to the previous one is that I'm showing here the service layer session ID. This is provided by Business One service layer, which is in a separate cloud. And we also are showing this server, which is providing my application. So imagine, for example, that you develop one application running in the cloud, and a lot of people are accessing it. Probably some people are accessing the address, since we are showing it right now. But a lot of people are accessing it. You are getting problems with memory and CPU consumption, for example. How can you scale that app very easily? So, for example, this is one of the beauties of the cloud, right? You can scale your app with just one line of command. So, for example, if I use the command cf scale and the name of my application with cf demo summits 18, and then -i for instances, and 5, for example. Oops, server status. Oh, I have a lot of instances already. So let me try 2. I cannot extend anymore. Let me delete one application. I'm using a trial account, so let me just delete B1 Leo. This is another app.
So while you're doing that, Ralph, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Is this the production version of Cloud Foundry?
This is the trial version of the Cloud Foundry. You can do that in the trial version.
What I'm trying to say is that developers out there, they could just get this and try it out for free to deploy it.
That's a good reminder. Yeah, that you can do everything I'm doing here. You can do that for free. And actually, if you go to the GitHub repository, it will instruct you that as well. So you are covered in there. So you teach how to create your cloud platform account and enable this trial for the Cloud Foundry. So just coming back, I executed here the scale, right? -I5. That means I have demo summit 18. CF app and the name of my app, demo summit 18. And you can see I have 5 instances right now. So my app is running on separate instances and can handle the amount of workload. And that means that if I access that from the web page again, I refresh that real quickly, you can see we are being served by other servers at this time. So each server has a different connection with Business One, so they can also parallelize the connection as well. So you can handle more workload. So just as we saw before, it's easy to scale. For example, this is one of the beauties of the SAP Cloud Platform. It's easy to implement new features, as you just saw. I just added a new field on the UI and deployed that to the SAP Cloud Platform, and it was already there. And actually, if we go a little bit beyond, we can also, for example, use one of the services available in the SAP Cloud Platform. For example, if you use the command CF Marketplace, you're going to see a list of all the services available for your account. And in here, you can see all this Cloud Platform services that people are talking. For example, you can have machine learning services with Leonardo Machine Learning Foundations, a MongoDB, a Postgre database, RabbitMQ, Redis, which is something we are using in our next prototype to store service layer sessions. So it's quite easy to create those services, attach those services to your application as well. Just one line of command, and we can do that. Do you have any questions so far? Yeah. Okay. Should I go deeper in the code, or are we okay with that? What do you guys think?
I think it's good for now, unless the audience, you all have some questions regarding that, or you all like to see more, then we can plan for subsequent sessions to actually go deeper. But maybe just a quick question to Ralph. I mean, well done on the demo. Just want to quickly ask, like, when you first get started into the Cloud Foundry or SAP Cloud Platform, how was the learning curve, and then like how long did you really use to take to learn and then start to developing such an app?
Okay, so I think the first thing, the SAP Cloud Platform is there for a while, right? We started with as HANA Cloud Platform, and in the beginning, since we are really deep into developing HANA applications, I didn't get the first idea of developing in the SAP Cloud Platform. I was just imagining, okay, so this is maybe it's a different technology that I need to go and learn how to deal with. But now, since they adopted the Cloud Foundry, which is the standard application platform they are using, it's not a matter of learning how to use the SAP Cloud Platform. It's a matter of how to use any technology that works in the cloud. So, for example, I did a demo using Node.js. If you go to our GitHub, we have the same application, the same demo using .NET. So you can use whatever technology now. It's not a matter of having your server, configuring your Tomcat or your IIS or whatever web server you have, configure your operating system. You don't care about this anymore. You just care about developing your solution in the technology of your choice, Java, Node, Ruby, Python, whatever. And the cloud platform itself gonna be in charge of running your solution. So the learning curve is not about the cloud platform itself, but it's about the technology. So we were tightly coupled to using .NET with the API and such. Then we ported to server-side JavaScript with HANA, and from the server-side JavaScript to Node.js, the engines are very similar. One was based on Mozilla SpiderMonkey. Node.js is based on Google V8, but they are JavaScripts at the end. So it's a matter of developing applications without worrying about the whole infrastructure. I think was my main challenge.
Cool. Yep. Good to know.
Trini, you are playing with new toys in the cloud as well, right? Build and such. Oh, I'm still sharing.
Sorry for the mute. So yes, I'm working more on the side of the of Fiori, Web IDE, and Build. So more on the UX side. So there we have also a lot of new things to present and to share. They are also available in the SCN. So we are sharing even handout sessions we did in the summit. So you can go to SCN, to the SAP community, and then look for blogs on our names, and you will find out one that is showing the hands-on. So how to develop a SAP UI5 application connecting to service layer. So I don't know if you heard it, but we are now in service layer supporting OData v4, and Web IDE recently supported OData v4. So we are now able to connect directly from Web IDE, so Fiori development, SAP UI5 applications, to connect to our service layer and have directly a Fiori application in some minutes.
Cool, very nice. I think I pushed the focus on my camera for a while, but yeah. So we can expect a very easy and straightforward way to create SAP UI5 apps with Business One in a short time, mid-term, long term.
So right now we have already the possibility. So SAP UI5 applications and some Fiori templates are working. So it's just adding more templates and supporting. So because, well, the history is Web IDE initially only supported version 2 of OData, and we were version 3. And from 9.3 patch number 4, we support OData 4, and Web IDE is starting supporting OData 4. So in the future, it's just having more every day. So we are working and collaborating with Web IDE team to get it done. And
yeah, wonderful. And I'm never tired of saying that, but seeing that we as the SMB group working using the same tools, working streamlined with the big SAPs is something that we haven't seen for a while. So
yes, this is a big thing. Yeah, this is something also we changed with loosely coupled. Until now, we had our SDK, UI, DI. We were tightly coupled to our Business One tools. Now we move to a bigger world, much more open, Cloud Foundry, Fiori, SAP UI5, HTML5. Everything is becoming like for other SAP products for Business One also.
Yeah, amazing. All right, we are reaching the end. Like it's already 2:53, right? We did it.
Went fast.
Less painful than we expected, right? So I don't know if you guys in the audience got any last questions for myself, Trinidad, Jacob, Drew in the Innovation Labs. But we are reaching the end of this SMB Tech Hangout. We got some guys asking about bank integration. What exactly about bank integration? No, not sure what you mean by that. But anyway, the idea the idea of this Tech Hangout is mainly talk the techie part. So how can you develop it? What are the tools? What are the technologies available? B1 product specific things. You better reach your local product expert. The idea here is to be very into code stuff. What else we got in there? Yeah, I think that's it.
Just if people want to give us some feedback,
good.
We can maybe share a kind of Hangout questionnaire, some survey. We don't want your names, we don't want your emails, but we want to know what you think about it. So we had some feedback in the chat, but maybe you can extend a bit more if you have time in the coming hours.
Do you have a survey for us or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. I'm not sure I published it, so.
Publish it. All right.
So should I put it in the YouTube thing?
Yes, put it on from YouTube, and we.
Oh, if someone can. Remove any web addresses, so it doesn't want me to share the web address.
Whoa.
That's nice.
It's only Ralph Ralph, who could
Oh,
be
okay.
able
How
to
to?
tell us.
I think it's on myself. Paste it on the chat in the Hangout window,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I get it from there.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll do that. I think
Why
there's a
I'm not
question.
allowed to share that?
Yes, I have the crown. You are the queen, but I have the crown.
Okay. Good. Try to see if it works. If not, we need to do something maybe for next session or share it
So
in the
guys,
YouTube afterwards.
please share your thoughts in the link that I just shared in the chat on YouTube. This is really two partners, not about myself, Jacob, Trinidad, whatever. Okay, we are having a good time. Jacob has beers, which is totally unfair because I'm drinking water. Maybe Drew can have beers as well because it's late for him. But this is for partners at the end of the day. So any subjects that you guys want to check, we are probably doing this like once a month or something. So let's see how the topics arise. But yeah, any last comment, guys? Drew, Jacob, Trini.
Not really. Just I think it went well, but I would like to hear from partners. What do you think? We talk it a lot.
Yeah, we do like talking. Yeah. Drew, how is it this is your first SMB Tech Summit? This is the first of all, but how is your impression with the SMB community? You didn't knew the partners and so on. How is it going? Are they treating you well?
Hey, it's also my first ever Hangout, so this is a great honor in many ways. Yeah, great. Look, my job is to find good ideas that our community wants to engage with. So if the community is right here, which I believe it is, please give me the ideas. We have capacity. If you can think of anything, we can make it happen.
That isn't just amazing, right? You can do whatever.
Short and sweet.
Jacob.
For me, I think it's a great start, and SMB Tech Hangout will slowly grow. And yeah, so hope to see everyone soon again, and hang out again. Yeah, awesome.
I think we have a hangout. Thank you very much for all the participation. Thank you very much for everybody that pushed the hangout in the social medias. Yahtzee tweeted that a lot. Thank you, Yahtzee, the solution architects, the LPs, everybody that contribute. Thank you for you, 28 strong nights, 26 now that we're here until the end. And see you in the next SMB hangout. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.